to the musical theater workshop created and presented by the Princeton Festival as part of its Virtually Yours Festival 2020. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we are not able to be together physically, but we can be together virtually. I am Steven LaCosse, and I will be your teacher for this 4-part series on getting ready for a career in musical theater. Many people love to perform on the musical stage. It's a lot of fun, but it takes a lot of hard work. And if you want to do it for a profession, you have to really take it seriously like it's a job. It's going to be your job, and the preparation that you put into it is the key to your success. Preparation is really about the only thing you can control. All the other external things, you can't have any idea what's going to happen. What's the weather like that day? What's the room that I'm auditioning in? Who are the people I'm auditioning for? Did they have a good day or a bad day? Did they not sleep? Can the pianist play my audition piece? These are all things you can't control, but you can control your preparation so you're ready for any curveball that might come your way. So I can't stress enough that the most important thing is your preparation. Now, how do you get that preparation? You need a lot of skills to be involved in musical theater. Okay, it's a musical, so you have to sing. That's one of the first skills that you need to be in the musical theater. And that starts with good training. So you need to find yourself a really good voice teacher so you can establish really good vocal habits. Many people don't get the proper training and end up doing vocal damage. What happens in here, there are 2 little vocal bands here that make all that sound, and if they're not prepared for all the work you're going to have to do, you could do some damage and maybe not sing ever again. So I beg you all to get really good vocal training. People like Kristen Chenoweth, who has actually a master's degree in opera and was on her way to the Academy of Vocal Arts when she went to audition for a show and got that instead and didn't go to complete her opera training, but she was trained classically. Audra McDonald, again, somebody trained classically but can sing anything. So, classical training, although you may not train to be a classical singer or an opera singer, can serve you well, especially at the beginning. It teaches you good breath, good posture, good vocal habits, how not to grab at the throat, and how to really use your voice in a way that is very healthy. And that's really what we're about, healthy production. A good teacher will help you discover what you can do well. Once you know what you do well, then you're going to begin to train yourself in choosing the repertoire that's going to represent you the best. So, some people we say are more legit singers, okay? They don't really belt, they don't have a really developed chest voice, and so they sing more legitimate musical theater, things like Rodgers and Hammerstein or Lerner and Loewe. Are you a character singer? Meaning, okay, I don't have the most range, I don't have, maybe I can't sustain or do things that the legit singers can do, but I can act the heck out of it. So I'm going to find myself a really good character song that's going to represent who I can be. And then finally, am I a belter? Do I have a really good belt? Do I need to find a number that's going to represent what I can do? Now, that doesn't happen automatically. That happens in the training with your teacher. They will give you exercises, vocalises, and songs to prepare you for the kinds of things you're going to do. So you have to do a lot of exploration there, because you might surprise yourself in your training to find out, oh, I can do that too. Many people can do more than one, but you're the one that has to know that. So I recommend finding a really good voice teacher. And how do you do that? Okay, you ask around. Find people that are doing this in your community, that are on your stages in your local community theaters or local stages, and find out who are they working with. Do you like the way they sing? Take a sample lesson. There are many voice studios that you can find that will help prepare you for this career in musical theater. Now that you've begun your singing training, you need to develop your acting training. And acting is a craft. Just like singing and learning a technique is a craft, acting is a craft. And the goal is to meld the 2 together, but you don't want to do that too soon. So, an actor, what does an actor need to do? What does that mean? You get up, you do pretend, you play make-believe. It's so much more than that, I can tell you. You need to learn how to develop a character. Ask the questions. What does the character want? Why do they want it? Well, who is the character in relationship to everybody else? And then you have to get your stagecraft together. You have to learn how to move on the stage. You have to learn stage combat, improvisation, all these skills that will help you develop into a fine performer. Now, where do you find that? Your local community theaters have acting classes. from all levels, all the way starting, at 7 or 8 years old, all the way through the teenage years, young adults. You adults who are maybe considering making a career change during these times, they have classes for adults, but you have to get in there and you have to do the training. And many of your local theaters have that. There are also studios that are set up to do this, so you need to do your research. Once again, if you're on stage or you go to performances and you see somebody up there that you like what they're doing, contact them. Find out how did they get their training, where are they going, what information are they getting. This is vital. You have to be proactive in it. It's not going to come to you. And if you can get all these pieces together and be prepared, you'll be ready to give an audition. Now finally, once upon a time in musical theater, you had the leads, you had a singing chorus, and you had a dancing chorus. Well, those days are long behind us, and everybody has to be able to move or dance to some extent. Now, not everybody has to be a dancer to be in a musical, but they have to learn how to move well. Not everybody can do that. Not everybody is a great tap dancer. Not everybody is a great ballet dancer. Not everybody is a great show choir dancer. But there are things you can do to learn basic combinations and basic steps so that you can move and look like you are doing it. Now maybe you won't be a featured dancer, but you can learn to move in the ensemble. And the way you do that is you have to take dance class. Now that sounds like a lot of school, doesn't it? Sounds like you have to go a lot of places and keep going. And it has to be continuous. You can't just take one voice lesson and say, okay, I know how to sing. And you can't just take one acting class and say, I know how to act. Or a few dance lessons. This has to be continuous training throughout your time as you're preparing to get ready for that first audition. You have to weekly training at least, or every other week. You've got to go to class, you've got to get out there, you've got to do it. You've got to learn your craft, and the only way to learn your craft is to practice it. And you have to practice it. Yes, you can practice at home by yourself, and we'll talk about that a little bit when you're getting ready to do the audition in the next session. But for you to be able to put yourself out there, you have to have all these skills ready to integrate so that when you go out to give an audition, you're not thinking about any of those things. You know how to act, you know how to make a choice, you know how to do this. But the only way you do that is through training. It really is a craft that you have to develop. And if you do the work in your preparation, as I said at the beginning of this session, then you'll reap the reward and you'll work. Someone will cast you in something, and then they'll cast you again, and you'll get more and more experience, and that can turn into a lovely career at whatever level that might be for yourself. Regionally, in New York certainly, in Los Angeles, locally. There are many places where you can make that happen for yourself. In your preparation, it's important that you have patience. You're not going to have everything that you need to have right away. If the performance is at a scale of 10, let's say 10, and there are 9 other steps, you have to complete and master or have some ability in all the other 9 other steps to get to the performance, which is 10. Skipping those steps doesn't help, because what it does is it leaves holes in your training, and it'll make the performance much harder for you to do, and possibly maybe not lose the job, or certainly not get hired back. So, good singing training, taking good care of your voice. You have to really, this is a very disciplined art form. Now some people say, well, it's a lot of fun. Yes, but it is a very disciplined art form. You have to have discipline to practice. You have to go to your classes. You have to do your dancing. You have to do it every day. You have to do something every day. You can have one day off a week for yourself, but every day you've got to practice to get better, because that's the whole thing. And the only way you get better is to practice. There's an old saying, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? Or how do you get to Broadway? Practice, practice, practice. Because you have to have something to deliver. It doesn't matter who you know. You might have a friend who can get you an in, but if you can't deliver in the end, it doesn't matter. So, again, proper singing training, proper acting training, proper movement training, and then a way to meld those things together. And we'll talk a little bit about how to do that next time in our series. Well, that's all for today. I'll see you tomorrow for our session on complete preparation for your audition. I know I talked a lot about preparation today, but that's just preparation, getting ready to do the audition. So there's preparing your craft and your skills, then there's preparation for the audition, then there's an audition, and then there's when you get the job and go to rehearsal. And we'll take you through that whole series of events in these 4 workshops. Hope you're having a great day, and this is Steven LaCosse signing off for the Princeton Festival. See you tomorrow.